What's up, family? It is July 30th still. Today is actually part two. I ended up hopping back in for Tokyo session, so I figured I would go ahead and update you guys on the plays executed and how they turned out. So I did two plays this evening. First one took a L. Second one got that money back plus time. So let's revisit. So first trade right down here. So I got in probably right around this area, if I'm remembering correctly. Unfortunately, as y'all see, this next candle dropped way back down to the fair value gap. I didn't expect it to come back down that far. Now that I think about it, I might have got in closer to the middle of this candle, but either way, I got in somewhere kind of in this range. I set my stop loss down here below the low of the previous candle. So I set my stop loss right about here. Unfortunately, even though things seem to kind of be trending upwards, this candle here came and bit me in the behind. It dropped all the way back to the fair value gap and continued on up. So I got knocked out. Thinking about it now, because it's very, very, very obvious the trend is upward. Like, it's nothing that's confusing about that. So thinking about it after the fact, my stop loss, even though it would have been pretty low, instead of being here, I really should have dropped it down probably at least to about this halfway mark in the fair value gap, to be 100% honest. Just to be on the safe side, since I was like 97% certain it was going up, I should have still just covered myself, put it down here probably in somewhere in the fair value gap area. As y'all see, it literally just barely nicked it and went right back up. But this would have been a solid point to put it. I might have been risking maybe another $100, but like I said, I was fairly certain it was going up, which it did go up, and it would have saved me from catching that L. With that being said, I waited a little bit, gathered myself, put my notes into my trading journals, waited for a little bit of a pullback, came back up, waited for another pullback just to make sure it was closing above this here. And I went ahead and entered. Some people might say, why did you enter on this particular candle? And to be 100% honest with you, I could have probably been a little bit more patient and got a little bit more out of this trade. But like I said, the trend was moving upwards. Sometimes, although you do want to limit your risk, risk is always key to limit it. But sometimes when it's clear as day that a trend is going a certain direction, I'm not going to say to do it all the time, but sometimes you can take a little bit of a risk, take a little bit of a chance. So what I did, I went ahead and got in like probably right around this area here. Because obviously it came back down a little bit from where it ended on here. So I set my limit a little bit below. And then I said, you know what? This time, I'm not going to make the same mistake I did last time. I'm going to actually set my stop loss low. I'm going to set it down a little bit lower than I probably would have. So normally I probably would have set my stop loss here, right below the previous candle. That's normally, kind of my thought process of like my first thought. This time I was like, I'm not taking no chances. I'm going to go ahead and drop it down a little bit more. So I went ahead and sat it down here underneath all of this. Because like I said, like we've been going up all day. So not all day, but you get what I'm saying. Been going up for a while. So I was like, I'm pretty safe, I think, with doing that, just based on the pattern of the day. If I set it down low, even though it's not optimal, at least I don't have to worry about being stopped out. And sure enough, as y'all see, I'm still getting over a cold. But sure enough, as y'all see, it came down a little bit, more, but it kind of, didn't go down as far. Then it came down a little bit more, and I was like, oh man. And I was like, well, let's see how it goes. Like, I'm not going cop out. Like, if this was me a few days back when I was still kind of getting comfortable, I might have cut my losses. But I've learned at this point, at least this is for myself personally, when I make a decision, it's because I saw something. It's because I noticed something, I realized something, I thought it through, and I'm prepared for whatever happens with it. So I hold my L's. It is what it is. So I just held with it. Like I said, it came back down. Cool. It kept kind of, not really going a whole lot in one direction or another. Kind of just kept being in the middle, yada, yada, yada. Finally, we get to this one. And it's finally like, boop, 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 up. Boop, 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 up again. I was like, all right, cool. Easy money. Hit my target. And, all good, all great. I could have wrote it up a little bit higher. But no worries at all. I made my money back plus some. So these are my two trades that I did during Tokyo section. And I didn't have them marked on here, but I actually did these trades shortly after the open of Tokyo. I had it marked initially, but I think I erased them. Either way, these were the two trades at the top. First one lost 225. Second one gained back 420. So nice 1 to 2 here. Pretty much just getting back what I lost and making almost double what I lost previously. These are my trade theses that I put down. Upward trend, mess up on the last trade by not giving enough buffer. Trend still going same direction, so decided to play again. I could have waited for more defined time to enter. But instead, I just put the stop loss at a further out point since I was sure of direction. But also, nothing in trading is sure. So my notes, just because you're sure still doesn't guarantee that you're right, but stop loss position gave a decent amount of cushion, even if price came down some from my entry. Learn from the previous trade mistake. And on this previous trade, I pretty much put Tokyo 5-minute orb. Okay, this screenshot does have the the lines I had marked for the 5-minute orb. So as y'all see, it got out and I went ahead and hopped in at this candle here. Honestly, I should have waited until this one, but I came into this trade confident that it was going upward. So I went ahead and went with it. Even though I was getting a little bit early. Like I said, I should have put my stop loss right about there, but I didn't. Anyways, stop loss should have been placed at the fair value gap instead it was placed just below the previous candle. Trade ended up going direction I expected, but may have been better to wait for the final big push out of the top range, which would have been this candle here. So that was the notes I put. That's all I got for this evening. We looking pretty good, even better for today. Obviously with those last two trades, it took this from being at 620 up to 813. So this has been our best trading day of the week so far. Outside of the 28th. The 28th actually was up to 1,000 before I went back and did something stupid. So we're gonna go for that 5th green day on tomorrow. So fingers crossed, we're gonna just execute. That's all it comes down to. And we're gonna make it happen. So that's, like I said, part 2 of July 30th. Thanks for tuning in. Visit contracts.app. Sign up, get the app on your phone, get the app on your computer, log your trades, and let's continue making it a great trade week. Peace.